welcome, Anka, for the Archetype Akasha. And you are going to share your wisdom about the 9, the Mountaineer, and you have it in a first line. So that's the foundation, individuality, research, what else? Inertia, determination, invisibility are the 3 keywords for the 9. And in the 64 doors, it's intent, details, and resolutionists. So meaning that you get to resolve because you see so many details and you see where the problem is, or you see where the solution is, and then you can fix it. At least that's my experience with the 9. And I've asked you what your experiences are in your life, because you have it in your pearl, which is Jupiter, and Jupiter is the law. And they say, if you live by the law of Jupiter, of that gene key, you get the rewards in your life for it. And when I read your short introduction about your experience with the 9, I really read that. You said that it was like a red thread through your whole life, and it feels like a divine present. So that's cool, because that means that you feel the gift and the reward of the pearl of the 9, being the Mountaineer in the 1,000 steps. And well, let me see, what else did you say? Yeah, you also mentioned that you already know about the individuality in those 1,000 steps. Is there anything that comes up for you now that you would like to share? Where would you like to start? Where did you feel the presence of the 9, or anything that comes up for you now?
So when I was preparing myself and dived into the 9, there was a memory that came up in me, which was from about 27 years ago. I was no longer, like 30 years ago. I was always quite fascinated by bringing more consciousness, more awareness in the collective. And now I understand it has to do with I'm a 5/2. So, and I was so fascinated by personal development and getting to know myself when I was really young, like I was just 20 years old. Then, so I gathered so much information, I did so many workshops and went to so many teachings. And then at one point, it just wanted to flow out of me. But I didn't know where to start, because I was also, on the other hand, like, okay, who am I? I'm just like really young. And who am I to spread wisdom in this world, you know? But at the same time, I saw so many friends and people around me running in circles and really being captured into triviality in their lives, like, you know, not going somewhere. And I was seeing this everywhere around me. So I was like, okay, maybe I do have something to say, you know, and maybe I do have something to share about how I approach my life and how I approach my dream of, you know, getting really aware of what is going on in me and in the world. So, and then I remember that I got lost somehow, because the dream I had was this big. It was like, whoa, I have so much potential, you know, and I was looking up at this huge mountain in front of me, and I was like, oh my God, am I going to get there? What is my first step, you know? And then a good friend of mine, who was very much into personal development and spirituality, he said, like, okay, Anka, don't worry. It's just like, just look down at what is at your feet right now. Like, what is your very, very first step to get there? You have to really chunk it down, your dream, into these small little steps. And I was like, okay, I'm going to follow that. And so that was the first time in my life that I really, you know, did all the practicals. Like, I wrote a training. I did with all the practical steps that I that helped me to get more awareness about myself, which happened to be a lot of body consciousness, because I'm always interested in, you know, embodying my body, like using my temple for living life fully. So it was just, I just wrote down this training, and I made these folders. I wrote the text. You know, these little things like going to the copy shop and making handouts, and for the first time in my life thinking about, okay, how do I reach people and what people? And so all these little steps, and I could just like totally oversee them. I knew like, okay, there's so many steps, it's so many, but I just have to start with the first step. And then it brought me there. And so my life really, I had this really big lesson, like, okay, you can still think, dream really, really, really big, but you cannot leave out all the details to get there. Wow. Yeah. And so I meet a lot of people actually that never manifest their dreams, because they look up at this mountain like, oh my God, this is too much work, I don't know where to start. You know, so from this 5-2 perspective, I really like to give people, to offer people these really practical solutions. Like, hey, you know, it's, for me, it's like very normal, or like natural to think about these little solutions. And I only understood when I dived into human design and Gene Keys that it's not everybody's a skill. So yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I hear your 5 making it practical, and then first going into all the details yourself and doing the experience yourself, and then overseeing the steps and having helpers saying you first have to take that first step. That's beautiful that you had assistance with that, because that was your first step, that somebody came in and pointed out that first step, and then you could oversee all those 1,000 steps that need to be taken, but you had the determination then to follow those steps, and then bringing that towards other people to climb that mountain just as you did. Wow.
Exactly. Yeah. And now, only now, because this memory just came up yesterday, but then suddenly I had all these insights like, oh, I'm approaching this in literally every aspect, in every situation in my life. I am going back to this too, you know, like, okay, what's needed? And then, okay, you can come into my team, and then I'll get you there, you know. So I'm having a lot of gratefulness for this skill. And it's in my Pearl. I'm not so much into Gene Keys yet that I know about the Pearl, but I understand that it is something that's like, is really given to you when, you know, when you live your, when you actually align to yourself.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's your outer authority. At least that's how it feels for me, because it's like this business design, as we call it. And when all the others are sort of integrated, you get to express that pearl and bring that to the people. And I'm already hearing you say that you see, well, that's at least what I'm hearing, that you even see the talents around you. And you also see where the details and the determination still needs to come, that they have to work on themselves to get them there. And that you bring that to them. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's actually, when you say outer authority, it's when I externalize it, like, you know, the male authority, like the discipline, the inner discipline, and the determination to actually really approach things from this discipline, like to just do it, to not procrastinate. That is such a huge helper in finding my way through life. Yes, and it's just recently that this male inner energy really developed in me to, like, really, you know, to not like, it's like when I meet people, I'm like, and they say like, oh, can't do this, or it's not possible. I'm like, oh, my alarm bells go off. I'm like, what? Of course it is. You know, there is no mountain is too high. You can literally create, magnetize, dream into existence. Everything. This is the magic.
Yeah.
And yes, and this probably has to do with this codon ring of light that I studied a little bit. I have 3 of the 4 doors. I have the 11 and 26 and the 9. I'm only missing 5, which is the radiance of my very best friend, and we create the magic together just because we sense that everything is a matter of frequency. So all the thoughts, all the every little thought is also a step into creating your reality. And when it's a beautiful dream, it's, yeah, I mean, make your dreams as beautiful as you wish, because you can literally dream them into existence.
Totally. I resonate so much with them. I also have 3 of the Ring of Light. I do not have the 11, but I do have the other 3. So I also have the 5. And when you were mentioning that and sharing that, I was thinking about when you hold that dream deep inside of you, no matter how big, it is the intent of the dream that you can bring to reality. At least that's my experience. I hold this dream inside of me as well. And I don't know all the details yet, but I dream of this, like I shared when we were talking in Dutch before, that I have this dream that everybody gets into their full potential, into their gifts, and why they were meant to be here. And I see in the line of work that I do, if I bring all these little steps, then one day we will all work so beautifully together. And I know it's a big dream, but when I hold that intent and that dream, then every little step that I take is going to help to make that dream a reality. And even though I might not be, my vessel may not be alive anymore when that happens, at least I got to participate in it and do my part. And I think you feel that same energy
totally.
inside of you.
When you share this, my heart is just like, you know, it's we share the same dream, really.
Beautiful.
Yes, and it's and it's also it's just a natural quality which was always so it was just me, so I didn't really respect that quality as something special or so. But now I have a little bit more distance of who I am, and I can just see like, oh, this creature is walking her life in this way. It makes me so happy to see her walk around, and yes, like also I believe in this the highest dream, that we can completely live in our fullest potential and create a beautiful world. And yeah, and I'm so happy to assist in every way I can. I'm praying every day to get the little me aside, and to make me carry light, and to enlighten as much as I can with all my qualities, with all my gifts. Yes. And it's such a joy to shoot these prayers into the universe, because this power of this dream, there's so much energy behind it. So yeah.
If we relate it back to the codon ring, it has so much light that we bring kind of the light to all the dark places in people. So we see the light in them. I also feel we see the light that they might not be aware of yet. And when we can do our little thing, I'm a 4/6, you're a 5/2, so you have a different way of bringing that light to the surface, and I have a different way. But because you can reach these kind of people and I can reach these kind of people, then one day we have reached all of the people, right?
Yes, and the beautiful thing is, because I think you are also very much about working together and synergy, and you know,
We both have the 45, so that's it. And we both
yeah.
have the 26, only reversed. I have the 45 in my radiance, and the 26 is my purpose. So it does have a different flavor because it has a different placement, but I do feel that, yeah.
The 45, which is in my left angle cross of Dominion.
Yes.
And I know this gate very well in my life. It's about how I experience this gate is about having, about collecting. In the first instance, like having for myself, like getting
resources, yes,
the resources. And then when I get stuck in it, I'm like, oh, I need to have them safe as mine, you know, it's only about me. But when I literally go into, okay, I can share my resources and collect more resources for the tribe, then it's such a tribal energy, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, it's a tribal gate. That's true. And 44 is collective. And now going off topic, but I see them working together, those 44 and the 45. The 44 has all these people and weaving them together, and the 45 bringing in the resources to bring all kinds of resources to the collective, so they keep on weaving and building this new grid. That's how it feels.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So when I go back to the 9, actually,
please do.
Yeah. Let me first say something about. I have this left angle cross of Dominion, which is in my how I feel it is very much about finding my way back to the original source of who we are as human beings, of who we were meant to be. Because I think in these times, I mean, of course, I'm sure you see this as well. It's like we got so off road, like so much technology without heart, and we just creating our own, you know, how do you say it?
Downfall?
Our own downfall, really. It's horrible to see this happening, but I am everything in my life is about, okay, how can I get back to the nature of who I am, really? So I live in nature. I go every morning. I go into the lake for swimming. It's really, really cold now, but I like to, you know, to feel the life force and the nature just going through my veins, really. I'm doing a lot of fasting, living from prana, actually, because I do strongly believe, I know that we are, that we as human beings, we can live without physical food. And actually speaking about higher, making your frequency higher it's a beautiful tool, you know, everything like doing the deep breathing, the Wim Hof breathing, doing the swimming, the cold swimming, doing the fasting. And I like to do things in a quite a radical way. I really like to go to the edge with it, for experience, to know, like, how does this system work, you know, how much can I take and where does it bring me, what are the effects? So I'm like kind of researching that. For example, I went for a 10-day retreat into the darkness, where I was completely closed off from the dark and from sounds, just to go so deeply inside of myself and to discover what's there. So all these things I'm doing for myself. I think this is also the 9.1, the line 1, you know, like really feeling it in the body.
Yes.
And or like, you know, going on the path of tantra and just like to completely decondition myself from all sexual shame and taboo, and like really live it out and feel the kundalini flowing, you know, through the life. Those kind of experiences, I think they're all from this 9.1. And I'm going into this discovery, and I take it step by step. It's like this travel. I look up this mountain, I'm like, okay, the fasting, I'm like going this way up, and then I'm just living from prana, and okay, the tantra, okay, it's so I approach everything like this. Yeah, so it's there's a lot of joy. It's just out of joy. I'm not like, I happen to be a fifth line, so at some point when people are interested, I'm like, oh yeah, of course I want to share, but not, yeah, it's just, I don't know, it's just because this is who I am. But these discoveries are just purely out of joy.
Yeah,
joy for life.
You're radiating. So when you were sharing that, I love it. Beautiful. And also you brought me, what I really heard in your sharing was that it really comes out of this sacral response, that it is, yes, let's do this. It's not out of I have to do this or I need to do this, but it's out of this joy that the sacral says, yes, this is fun to explore. And I really want to know, with the first line, wanting to dive deep and experience fully into the body. And then hearing you say that at some point when you're being asked and being recognized, because that's for the fifth line, it needs to be recognized in order to lead or to be a teacher or to share in a profound way. And I'm hearing you doing all that by, your natural self, but that's maybe because you already, been on your journey for a while and have experienced so much. Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, it's like, I guess it's just by walking the talk, just by my radiance, just like, okay, when people see, it's like, oh, this is really doing her good, this swimming and this fasting and the tantra, oh, I want that too, so I'm kind of selling it, but I'm just selling it through my light, through my energy. I'm not consciously selling anything really. And I just discovered lately by diving into the gene keys and human design that this must be my 26.
Yes.
Yeah. So
it's selling from the heart.
Yes, it's selling from the heart. And it's just like doing nothing, just living and just loving.
Being you, doing you. Yeah. Beautiful. Yeah. But at some point, we've talked about, well, we have also the shadow of the 9, the inertia. And now we're talking all about the good stuff that came out of it. But can you share maybe some experiences about how you felt the inertia, and have you experienced it, and how did it express?
Yes. Wow. Yes. There's as much as there is to say about the gift and the city. Of course, as much as there is to say about the shadow, which is at some point even more important, or even more important to face. And I can say that I experienced in a microcosmic scale every day this inertia. And also I had some really big experiences with inertia, like in my daily life. It's I'm very well acquainted with the procrastination of things. When I'm reluctant to go for something, and I'm like, really, I feel so much reluctance, and I'm like just procrastinating and really, doing these little things. Like I love to clean up my house, but then I'm cleaning forever.
Can you come to my home?
Yeah, what?
Can you come to my home, because I don't like cleaning?
That's what people tell me a lot, because I really love cleaning. I can so get lost in, and then like, oh, I'm behind all the corners, I'm cleaning, like, oh, this needs to be painted, and then I'm just getting lost in all this trivial stuff, and I'm never managing to either reach my dream or to be aware that it wasn't my dream, because it was just it's just something that there's no life in it. And then of course I'm reluctant for it. So yeah, procrastination is probably something that a lot of people recognize, or making endless lists of things that I have to do, and then putting so much energy in making these lists, but never
Getting to do them.
getting to do it. Yeah. So this is like on a small scale, like, you know, the distraction, the everyday distraction that is just on the verge, that's just there
Around the corner. Yeah.
Get me. Yeah. So, but in a big way, actually, this is just very actual happening right now, is that I have been running in circles in a love relationship for years and years, and this is also kind of a little bit the thread in my life, because first I had a relationship that lasted 20 years with the father of my 3 children, and now I just finished a relationship of 6 years with a man that I deeply loved, but deeply addicted. I was addicted to him deeply as well. So there were so many unhealthy patterns, and literally all my friends talked to me for years, like, Anka, get out of this, because we can see you literally go down so much and losing all your energy in this romance and stuff. And I just couldn't move. I was just frozen. I was just totally trapped into, you know, the reluctance, not being able to take one step out. Just frozen to, I couldn't, there wasn't even the willpower. It was just all flat. It was just gone. So I struggled a lot with this, especially in one-on-one intimate relationships. Yeah.
When I heard you say about the inertia, that it might not be your dream or the right dream for you, and then you just sharing about this relationship, I felt like, hey, maybe that's the pattern of the inertia, that it is, if it's not for you, then you get in this pattern of inertia, not being able to move towards the dream. But yeah, you get what I'm saying, right?
Yes, actually, now you are saying this, because I can get lost. I don't know which gate this is, but I can actually, fantasizing. I can go totally into fantasizing, and also into the lack energy, which is, I think it's the 30 or 41, I don't know, there. And when I get lost in those dark places with myself, I can create an image of what I want, and it's really very much from the ego. It's like, okay, I want this, so I am doing everything to get there, you know. But then all the signs on the path are like, okay, don't go there, you know. And I'm then literally deaf. I think that's also a game.
Yeah, you have that. Definitely.
Yes, I'm literally, I just do not follow that intuition and those voices consciously, because I know that I'm going the wrong way completely, which is so frustrating. But then there's still this determined
to find a solution.
Quality, yeah, to do it anyway, to go through it and to push through it, and because I want it, and which is really working against me so hard. And I'm actually curious about the people who are watching this video, about their experience with this. Yeah. I guess this is such a big human shadow, to go for something that you think you want, like your ego wants, but it's really not in the plan that, you know, God provided for us. Yeah.
I think
People say I'm a really hard nut to crack. Like my former partner, who I was together for 20 years, he said, like, you are so much in your ego when you want something, when you put your senses on something and you just, you get blind for everything. You just want it. And it's such a nasty energy, really.
Mm.
It's a dangerous energy. I can see that also because the 26 is also in my cross of dominion, which is very much about power and about control. But it can get very nasty. Yeah. So yeah, and it's actually it's kind of liberating to talk about this and to just see this character doing all that shit. You know, I've done a lot of shit in my life, and I think I hurted a lot of people around me with this energy. And then when the determination comes into on the 26th from the 9 in the shadow way, it's not very nice.
No. Now we're talking about it. I'm sensing kind of that it's sort of a signpost when you get in this shadow of the 9, and then using even the 26, maybe, you know, all the archetypes work together, that when you start seeing it around you, that it's destroying kind of the good things around you, that it's a signpost for anyone who's watching right now, that it might be not the right thing that you're going for, that it's not meant to be on your path. And now you being able to share it in here, you are assisting a lot of people that are going to hear this. They might be able to recognize it as a signpost, that it's not the right thing for them to put on all the energy of the determination into that project or into that relationship or in anything that even... I was also thinking about conditioning. You know, why do we want to get there? For me, it was because of the conditioning that people told me, well, most of the time it's parents, but also the people around you. You have to get this kind of a job, do this kind of a college or education, or you need to put things like this out there because otherwise your business would not go right and anything like that. And when I started to scrape that all away, like, what do I really want? It's with the 26, it's sharing from my heart. And that's what I'm doing here. And it doesn't matter if it doesn't make any money, because it doesn't. I do it with my heart and with love to bring the awareness, just like you. And that feels so yummy.
Yes. Yeah, actually, I want to point out some little detail maybe, which is actually for me quite huge, is I was always like, okay, I have to follow my heart. I have to follow myself, my higher self, and you know what I want. But that's very tricky because there's a fine line between what I want and what my ego wants. Yes. So for me, a big salvation is actually in praying to God, not like a God which is on a cloud outside of myself, but really focusing on this higher source energy, which I really have to listen closely, which is, I think, also very much connected with the intuition and with the sacral and with the cosmic downloads. And all this energy, all this source energy together, that is more like my higher self. And that is more like what I want. But it takes every day, it takes such a huge focus, really, on what is me, like the little me, like,
what's the divine?
I don't want to let it go. And what's the divine? Yes.
Yeah.
So that, I think that is what my life is about right now, the most. About, I'm a truth seeker. The 63 is my purpose. The 64 is my elevation. So it's like, you know, it's like I'm really a truth seeker. I really want to know the truth about this whole place we are living in, this whole hologram, and just really look through the fields of illusion and see what I really am. I really want. I want that. That is like my bigger purpose on earth. Yeah.
Yeah, I resonate with that as well because my 63 is in my pearl. I have a 63.1 in my
Ah,
pearl, and my
wow,
culture
we
is
have
a
both.
63.6. So I have it twice. So I know
Oh,
all
wow.
about truth seeking. And I could
Oh,
relate
wow.
it when you said, when you shared, when I really have to go deep and ask myself, is it the divine or is it ego? And that's the inner inquiry, because I do that a lot as well. You know, the inner searching of what is my dream and why am I dreaming it? Is it for me or is it the plan?
Yes. Wow, that's so cool that you have it like 63.6. What is the line about? The line 6
Six
in
is
this.
seeing the future in the now and kind of observing everything. So I also feel like I see, like you, I see the people doing their stuff and doing the things they could do better in my perspective, you know, and not wanting to dive in because, yeah, you know, just let them be. But it's my role to bring my experience and my truth. And seeing, for me at least, truth is that everything is truth. Because we all got this different cognition when we go into human design. If you have the 4 arrows, you know, and all the different archetypes, we are all a fractal of the whole. So we all got this beautiful, unique perspective. And when we put all these perspectives together, we have the eye of source. Yes.
Yes, I think this literally, I said this yesterday to a friend, like, okay, like that's why a perspective is called a perspective, because looking from this perspective, it's true. You know, it's everything that's going on in this world is true when you look at it from one perspective.
Exactly.
And yes, I think it's like really going, yeah, it's like when you're on this roof, which is, I think that's the 6th, huh? You look down, you see literally all those perspectives. And I'm in a 5, I'm more like the teacher, you know, who wants to work and find these solutions. And I love to hang around with line 6s who are just more like, yeah, whatever,
Relax.
you know.
Yeah. Yeah, with everything that's going on in the world right now, I feel that I have no judgment. I feel inside myself how I have to move in this reality and choose my reality. And I don't judge it because things need to happen to go from the cross of planning to the cross of the Phoenix. So it's all meant to be. And then I feel my determination in that I have to play my part. That's at least the thing I can do is do me.
Yes, exactly. Yes, well, you know, when I look what's going on in the world, I'm like, yeah, come on, bring that show. You know, I can also feel that a lot, and yeah, I can see also all the perspectives, but yeah. It's like there's this rebel in me. It's like, I think the rebel is like, what is it?
Yeah, the 5th line also. I feel
also, yeah, but also the 49 and I don't know,
34.
there's more like 34. Yeah. No, I don't have the 34. No, do I?
No, you
well,
have.
I don't.
You have the 34 in the
Yeah,
sacral.
there's always, you know, I like to throw a bomb, like to make a statement. And then I know my head is gonna be chopped off. But that is like a kind of my way to, you know, to shock people or something. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna make this statement. I'm gonna create a revolution. And then I throw a bomb, like, you know, making a TV, working in Holland on a TV item about living from prana and making this statement like, hey, folks, you can live all without physical food. You can, you know.
Yeah.
And then like people, they just. Yeah, they go mad at me, like, yeah, you have anorexia, they should take your children away from you. And I'm like, oh yeah, I saw that coming, you know. Yeah. And then also I feel this, I really feel the city of invincibility and the city of invisibility from the 26th. I just feel it.
Yeah, beautiful.
Taking place. And I'm like, I'm stepping back. I'm like, thank you.
You go like, can't touch this. Yeah, you know, that's
yeah.
Yeah. When you shared invisibility, invincibility, I get those two, invisibility and invincibility. It's difficult words for us, at least for me. When you feel into that word, how do you feel that it is working in you right now? Knowing about your 9 and your dream inside of you. How would you want to share that right now with the people watching? Can you bring words to that? More words?
Yeah, good question. I really need to look up something that I made one note this morning, which was about the word invincibility, and it was like, wow, this is cool. But give me a minute. I'm just gonna
sure.
Look
so you also look up words to find out what they really mean from different perspectives.
Yeah, yes, I totally like symbolism in everything. Like throughout the day, I'm building my new house now, which is also very much the 9.1, like really building from the foundation. Mm-hmm. And I like to participate also in it, and on the way, all the little details. Until like everywhere, all my nice things and plans are going to be, and it's such a beautiful travel, but all of them have symbolism in them, all of them. Yeah, so beautiful to follow that. Yeah. Okay. So it's a definition about invincibility that I came across somewhere in the hexagram that I was studying, and it says invincibility means to dissolve into the will of the universe. That really struck me. I think that is so beautiful, because then when you look at determination, there's still an act in it, like an energy, like a force in it that we do or put something. Yeah. But the invincibility is like, yeah, you can totally sit back and relax, and you become that mountain. And so actually a lot of energy in me is releasing at the moment, because I finished cold turkey my addictive relationship actually yesterday.
Wow.
And I feel like today is like a new life has started for me. I went into the lake this morning, and I felt just like all my energy is coming back into me. And the determination or the invincibility in finally overcoming this addiction and stopping myself of destroying and hurting myself. It brings this kind of dissolving into the will of the universe. Like, yeah.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Yeah, that's so beautiful. Yeah.
I'm feeling that deeply. I'm feeling like this, like even when you were in the water, that the water was going inside of you and filling you up again and flowing out, and then regaining your strength, regaining your invincibility, coming back to yourself. I also feel. Yeah.
Yeah. It was like I was like standing in the front of the lake. I was just like, thank you, life, thank you, water, thank you, Lord, for this amazing experience. I was really captured deeply into this love addiction. It was, by times it was horrible, and it was a big letting go of. And I could only do it with like this full force willpower, because I was suffering so deeply of running around in circles and losing my life energy. Actually, I really got sick from it. My body started really, getting symptoms. So that is the invincibility. And the invisibility, which I never understood what it is, but the 26, is the trickster. Is very much from the ego. You know, you can manipulate like everything and everyone, and it's a very powerful energy. Again, to be used wisely. But I feel it the most of the times is that when I meet people, and you must recognize this, Corrinda, when I meet people, I am so fascinated by who they are that I just look at them and I just see all their potential, and I see all their beautiful features, and I see all their lights and all their power, and then I just look at them, and at that moment, and I just realized this for a short while, just recently, then while I'm looking at them, they see themselves in me. I'm just mirroring them back. And then sometimes people tell me like, oh, you got so much light and you got this and you are so beautiful and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yes, thank you. But you're actually looking at yourself, because I'm just getting so happy by looking at these people, and then just like everything opens. And at that time, at that moment, I feel I'm totally invisible. It's not me. It's not me. I'm not there even. And this is actually almost a game to play, because when I go into, let's say, club, a place with a lot of people, and I'm just totally dissolving in the music, I'm always like closing my eyes, and then there comes this picture of, okay, there's actually nobody here. You know, I'm just dancing out of my joy, and then I fall together with the music, and then I open my eyes, and then I see that everyone is in bliss. And then I feel the power of, you know, source just coming through. Yeah.
Beautiful.
And then I am totally invisible. It's not about me. And it's such a joy.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love it when Richard mentioned about the 26, that always comes across my mind when I doubt myself, is he says about the 26 something like, see yourself as one of the gods moving behind the scene, spreading love. And when you were just sharing about that dancing, I love dancing too. And when I pick the party that I'm going to for dancing, because I can't be around everybody, because somehow when you raise your frequency, some environments can get you down too much. And I'm not the one who needs to lift up everybody. So I choose wisely where I go. And like you, I close my eyes and I start to dance, and my body starts to move to all the frequencies that's going around in the room. And then when you open your eyes, everybody's watching me. I go like, okay. And everybody's smiling and like, oh, wow, you know, and then when I open my eyes, they want to start dancing with you. It's like this love frequency of bliss, like you said, that you send out and touch everybody. So then you see yourself as like a child of source, or even being, the vessel of source, spreading that love of bliss and being human with each other.
Yes, I think it's a beautiful door. It's the 26 is like, wow. Yes, I'm really. Did you do an archetype interview with the 26?
Not yet. No. My 9 is taking it slowly with the Archetype Akasha. So every 4 or 5 weeks, I choose a new one, and I don't choose. It comes which one wants to come through. So.
Of course, I think that must be also a really, really fascinating one. Yeah. It's like I read somewhere, and that because it's something totally unconscious. For me, at least, it is like the radiance is the design side. It's like I've never been conscious about it, but then my friend always said like, okay, every time when I hang out with you, and then like every situation turns into magic. I'm like, that's not because of me, you know, no, actually not, because I don't do anything. And then I read that the 26 is is a light, like who lights the theater, you know, and it can focus when it focuses on this, on a scene or on a specific people or whatever, then that person is totally in the light. But the 26 is that light bulb, you know?
Yeah.
So the 26 is actually totally not important, because it's not about the 26, which is such a relief again. Yeah.
And so beautiful
And
that you brought back the 9 in it, because when the 9 takes that light bulb and then uses it to focus on something, you bring the lights to the people, like you shared in the beginning. You shine the light on those people that are still have those dark spots that you see, but you also see the potential. And when you shine that light on them, wow.
Yes. And also on the details, because the details are actually very important. It's like, you know, when I'm in the supermarket and there is this girl doing the, the cashier, and she is like wearing a beautiful ring, or, you know, and I love to just mention these things, like, hey, you got a beautiful ring, you know, or your hair is beautiful, or it's something, and I'm like, and I really love to mention these details, and then the people are like, oh, thank you, you know, like, wow, I'm being seen. Yeah,
I do the same. So I recognize that that's again, yes, that's the working together with the 9, seeing all those details in your environment and pointing them out when it feels, when you feel the not the need, but when you feel the energy to express it to someone, or maybe it's even unconscious that your sacral says you have to bring the detail to that person, or like when you shared, well, you have to bring the details to your house. It's the 9 is everywhere, I feel, in every detail of life. That's what I'm hearing you share too, in every wisdom that you just shared. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful.
Wow, nice talk. I love it. I love it to talk to you.
I feel that I could talk to you for hours and hours, but we know the concentration for most people are about an hour. Yes. So for this moment, I would like to ask you this last question. When you now dial into your 9, is there anything that the 9 really wants to say right now that it hasn't shared yet, or some pointer or anything that wants to come through? You can take a breath for it. Take your time.
Yeah, there's actually there came something up just before you said this, which I really want to share with the people who are watching this, and which is, I'm not sure even if it's from the 9, but yeah, probably it is. It's like, okay, it is such a journey to get to know yourself. It's such a deep journey, and when Gene Keys and human design came to me, I was completely flabbergasted. I was like, wow, we have actually this recipe with this, what?
This blueprint.
That blueprint. We have it just like, you know, it's like, okay, you get your mother gives birth to you, and there comes this blueprint out. You can just, when you read it, it's just such a precious thing to accompany you in your life and into fulfilling your potential. And it is a journey. It is going up that mountain. And when people are new to this, like I was like half a year ago, you know, then, and you read all these gates and all these archetypes and all this stuff, it's like, oh my God, you know, there's so much information. Where should I start? But I would recommend to just start. Just take one archetype at a time and just read about it and contemplate on it and see where is it alive in your life, and you know, and then just move to the next, just follow your joy. And yeah, I want to encourage everyone to to do this. Like I would encourage everyone to go into fasting periods, to swim in the cold lake, to breathe deeply, to go on the tantra course, you know, to free your energy, to like really go into the void, to even inquire your own death, because I think that it's all about that in the end, to inquire our own mortality deeply. This is, by the way, my vocation.
Yeah.
And I think that is, that's like, just go for it. Yeah.
Anka, thank you so much for this beautiful, inspiring and empowering wisdom sharing from your archetype and your whole profile. And I have no words anymore. I feel complete.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for bringing this work into existence. I think it's so needed. And thank you for giving people a voice. Yes.